Welcome back to the Homestand Show, you guys. Joining us now is Jovan Buha of The Athletic, covering the Lakers, host of the Stargazing podcast. I just had Mo on earlier, Jovan, actually, and he's also from LA, as you know. So thank you for taking the time this early in the morning at your end of the world.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys having me on.
Absolutely.
Well, before we do anything, I gotta preface this conversation by letting you know that the guy next to me right over here, Justin Pooney, is a huge LeBron fan.
Okay.
Annoying, actually, if
I'm
anything,
not
to
an
that
annoying
level.
LeBron fan.
So if he says anything, he's gonna have a couple questions for you. Just gonna let you know prior to. But I wanna talk to you about the game last night. It was the LA showdown. The Clippers and Lakers faced off against each other. It was their 12th straight game, and the Lakers' 12th straight loss to the Clippers. So, what can the Lakers do to get over this hump? And is this a scheduling conflict that you saw happening last night?
Yeah, well, LeBron used that term, scheduling conflict. It was the Lakers' fifth game, the end of a five-game road trip. It was a back-to-back. So they had played in Salt Lake City against the Utah Jazz the night before. That game went to overtime. LeBron has been on a minutes limit in the 30 to 32-minute range, ended up playing 38 minutes in that game. AD played 42 minutes, which was the most he had played since December before his foot injury. So I think for both of those guys, there was a lot of doubt even entering the day of whether or not they were going to be available. The Lakers listed them as questionable in the morning. They both were game time decisions. They had to go through their pregame warmups to decide whether or not they were going to play. I asked LeBron after the game when he knew he was going to play, and he said 60 on the clock, which was about 6 o'clock for a 7 o'clock tip. So really, there was a lot of uncertainty. I talking to different people around the team and around the situation. Like I was hearing they're playing, they're not playing, one of them's playing. Like you just didn't really know. So with all that, I think it was encouraging if you're the Lakers to see them push through. And AD's had his reputation with injuries and load management and different things. LeBron has missed a lot of time as well. So I think those guys were honestly just tired of missing time. They look at last year, they missed the postseason. The year before, they had a quick postseason where they lost in the first round because AD got injured. So for them, if they could taste the postseason and potentially avoid the play-in tournament, had they won last night, that would have helped them do so. I think that they wanted to go for it. So I think for them, the Clippers came in 3 days of rest. They hadn't played since Saturday. Lakers have had 3 games since then. So it really, from that perspective, the Clippers certainly had an edge there. But for the Lakers, I mean, a lot of times it's hard to win a back-to-back. This was especially hard, again, coming off of the circumstances of a long road trip. But, it is what it is. The Clippers, as you said, they've won 32 of the last 39 matchups between these two teams. They've completely dominated them. They get up for it. It's their NBA finals kind of. There's just something about the purple and gold that they're like a bull. They see those colors and they just make every shot. It feels like and I've been on both sides of it. I covered the Clippers and now covering the Lakers. So like I've been on the Clippers side of them winning that matchup. I've been on the Lakers side of the Clippers winning the matchup, and it's really just been domination for almost a decade now.
Yeah, it's crazy because you think about it. Before that, the Lakers destroyed the Clippers on a basis of all the time, right?
Yeah.
Russell Westbrook, played 21 minutes last night, pretty efficient, 6 for 12. How much you think that win not validated but just helped the psyche of Russell Westbrook, a guy that's been kind of beaten on a lot over the last couple of years?
I think it helped a lot. It was I wrote about it. Like it was as icy as you would have expected. There was no dapping up or handshakes pregame. Russ is now starting with the Clippers, so he's part of those starter interactions. And I thought it was interesting that everyone is around half court, right before tip off, saying hi to each other. And Russ is under the Lakers basket, actually, kind of near their bench, with his back to the bench and just staring into the crowd and just ignoring everybody. And, didn't say hi to LeBron, didn't say hi to AD. Then during the game, LeBron's guarding him. LeBron is sagging off of him, doing exactly what teams have done to the Lakers, the prior year and a half that Russ was with them, of just, we're going to put Russ's defender in the paint and he can take as many jumpers as he wants. Well, Russ hit a couple of those jumpers to start the game, hit a couple threes, and then pointed out LeBron afterward. And, you could tell that there was no love lost there, but between those two guys, even at one point, LeBron threw a pass to Troy Brown Jr. that went out of bounds, ends up in Russ's hands on the Clippers bench. And then he gives it to the ref and then points at LeBron and says something. So, what was interesting was Russ didn't play the last quarter and a half. He ended up only playing 21 minutes, which was his fewest minutes as a Clipper and actually his fewest minutes total since January 2nd with the Lakers. And then he left without speaking to the media. So I don't know if that was him trying to duck the Laker media and not wanting to see us, because he's made it pretty clear he likes the Clippers media better. I don't know if he was upset with not playing, because that's been a trend with him of when his minutes are down, he's outwardly displeased with that. So it was for something that probably should have been more of a celebratory situation for him. It did feel like it ended on a little bit of a sour note, whether it was just him not wanting to talk to us or upset with kind of the way the second half played out.
Well, Norm Powell kind of went off coming off the bench as well, so you kind of have to let him have some minutes as well. But
yeah, absolutely. Well, let's take away from that game. I'm sorry we have to rub that into you again, the 12th straight loss against the Clippers. But you were on the other end for the few good times too, so I feel like it kind of evens out for you. But I want to ask you about the state of the team going into the play-in now in the playoffs. I feel like the Lakers have been struggling this entire season. We haven't really had a clear-cut look to see whether or not they would push far or what this team would look like at this point of the season. But now they're in the play-in race. They've got LeBron James. They've made the trades to bring on D'Angelo Russell, Malik Beasley. What's the atmosphere in the city like right now, knowing that LeBron James is about to take over the playoffs?
Well, this is my third year on the Lakers beat, and I feel like this is the most optimistic that the fan base has been in those 3 years. I think, of course, going back to the 2021 playoffs, that team was a 7 seed largely because LeBron and AD combined to miss over 60 games that season. And they were up 2-1 on the Suns, and then AD gets injured in Game 4. So maybe that's the most excited that the fan base has been. But I think I think this fan base might appreciate, or the current state of the fan base is a appreciation with the way that last season went, the way that the first half of the season went. I saw someone from the Clippers last night, and they were like, it's just night and day how much better the Lakers are. And it's like, it's not even, it's just like a completely new team. And obviously there's some carryover with LeBron, AD, Austin Reeves, Dennis Schroeder, but it's a brand new starting lineup, brand new rotation. Some of those guys like Austin Reeves has had a breakout season, has played much better in the second half. So even the guys that have kind of carried over, haven't necessarily played the same roles or the same style since the beginning of the season. So I think the morale is high, even with the loss last night. I think, again, a lot of people expected it. But LeBron said it last night, where for them, it's all about health. Health has been their biggest issue over the last 2 years. The one time LeBron and AD had a pretty healthy season together, they won a championship. And of course, that was COVID and the bubble, and there's a lot more to that. But the last 3 seasons, including this one, they just have not been healthy. Those guys have both missed 20 plus games every season, and it's affected seeding. It's affected their ability to establish chemistry and continuity. And I think you've really seen them suffer. So I think now you're looking at it, they're probably not going to get the 5 seed. It's still technically possible, but the Clippers have that edge over them. They have the head-to-head tiebreaker. They're also now a game ahead of them. So most likely Lakers are looking at like a 6 to 8 seed right now. There's a big difference there, where 6, you avoid the play-in, 7, home game play-in, 8, got to go on the road for the play-in. So I think that they're trying to get that 6 or 7 right now. But LeBron made it clear, we don't care who we play. We're confident in the way we're playing. They've won 7 of their last 9. LeBron and AD, this is the best they've looked together again since probably 2021, if not 2020. And I think if those guys can stay healthy over these next couple games and enter the postseason with some momentum, I do think they can make a deep run. I think they could win, at least win one round, but potentially, depending on how the playoff bracket breaks out, maybe win a couple rounds. I think it's tough to go farther than that without home court advantage, and you just don't see a team make the finals winning 3 straight series on the road, or win a championship winning 4 straight series on the road. It's just, I think it's too hard to do. But they could definitely make some noise, and if they get Sacramento in the first round in that 3-6 matchup, or even Memphis in a 2-7, like, I think they could beat those teams. So I think that's really what they're angling for, is that 6 or 7 seed.
So you mentioned it. It's a new team basically. Ever since that Westbrook trade, it's been a new rotation, new starting lineup. We know LeBron is LeBron, 29 points a game. We know AD stepped up big when LeBron was hurt. But out of those new pieces that the Lakers acquired at the deadline, who to you has made the most significant impact?
I think it's Jared Vanderbilt, actually, which this is like the 3rd time he's kind of just been the throw-in in a deal, and it kind of ends up being one of the key, if not the key guys in the deal. He's bounced around Denver, Minnesota, Utah, now the Lakers, and I think he's just exactly what they needed, because the Lakers have had 2 major weaknesses over the last 2 seasons, aside from their health. 3-point shooting and size on the perimeter. They've had, they played so many 3-guard lineups, so many times someone 6'4", 6'5" is having to defend a 6'7", 6'8" guy. I mean, like, I think look at their matchups with the Raptors. Like, it looks like a JV team versus a varsity team if you're just looking at the players and how they match up against each other from a physicality standpoint. Length, athleticism. Like, the Lakers haven't been able to match up with those wing heavy teams like the Raptors, the Celtics, the Clippers, etc. So I think for them, Jared Vanderbilt is that guy who 6'9", long arms, really athletic, is one of the better perimeter defenders in the league. We've seen him defend Luka Doncic at a high level, Devin Booker, also a guy like Karl Anthony Towns. Like, so he has some defensive versatility where he can take that pressure off of LeBron and AD, where they don't have to guard the best guys. They can kind of focus on, AD can protect the paint. LeBron likes that free safety role where he can kind of roam around defensively. And Jared Vanderbilt can be the one. I mean, last night you saw he was the main guy guarding Kawhi. Actually did a pretty good job on him. It was more the Lakers' help defense and kind of the other areas where they were struggling. But I would say Jared Vanderbilt. Malik Beasley's had some moments as a shooter, although he's kind of up and down. D'Angelo, when he's been in the lineup, he's already gone through 3 different injuries. But when he's been available, he's been pretty solid. Mo Bamba, Rui Hachimura, who technically wasn't a deadline deal. They acquired him a couple weeks before. He's had some big games off the bench. So I think every guy has come in and made a contribution. And again, to kind of paraphrase what that person from the Clippers was telling me, like, it's just night and day how much better this team is. And I think the Lakers front office really deserves some credit for going out and addressing their needs.
Even from the Eastern Conference, like what we saw in a couple months ago to what this team looks like now. I'm kind of scared for the Western Conference, knowing that LeBron James has been given the opportunity to be in the playoff or even the play-in run. But thank you so much, Jovan, for joining us today. We have to talk about the Lakers, have to mention LeBron. So who other than the number 1 guy in LA to come on and give us a whole rundown of what this team looks like? We're going to have to bring you on again. I'm sure the Lakers will be making some noise this playoff. So please get ready to wake up again in the morning for the Eastern Conference. Too. Yeah, absolutely.
Whenever you guys need me.
You're the best. Stick around later. We'll talk about our favorite NBA performer, and we'll see you afterwards.